today. What's up, everybody? Welcome in to the Early Edge, your sports betting brand of record. We're every single weekday, 2 times a day and twice on Sunday. All of the odds on the Early Edge are powered by our brand new partners, the king of all sportsbooks, BetMGM. We are powered by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it's not even close. I get asked all the time, I'm the coach, by the way, who are your hottest cappers? Well, normally the recap screen will show you that, and this one absolutely shows you that. AB's been on fire. The counselor last night, 2-0. He's as consistent as they come, Buckets continues to knock off game after game after game. And Prop Stars, if you're a SportsLine member, 13-3 in his SportsLine picks for the NFL this weekend. We are everywhere. And do not forget, there's not a day that goes by that we're not looking forward. Later today, as always, every single Tuesday, our NFL mega preview for week 8. Me, the maestro, and the stoic one, RJ White. But on the day when the NBA starts, when every league is in motion, you got to bring in the absolute very best. So on this Tuesday, we are going 6 wide. Look at my disposal. Zack Attack live from Las Vegas. The counselor is here. The sniper is here. Mikey B, you're talking NBA? He's got to be here. And Buckets, big old fat smile, is here on this morning. Now, normally we start with 15 seconds, whoever the hottest capper is. Today we're going to do 2. So, Buckets, you've taken down a UFC showdown. The no-fly zone, you're dominating that as well. 15 seconds, whatever you want.
Coach, I think people expect me to be cocky just because I won my UFC showdown. I'm 5-0 on NFL picks this season on the no-fly zone. I went 2-0 yesterday in my soccer plays. People expect me to be cocky and, a little bit full of myself. But that's not who I am. I am humble above all things, so I'm excited to be back, and I'm ready for another party at the pay window.
Oh, my God, already branding that. By the way, did you guys notice my new sweatshirt today? Speaking of branding. Oh, what does that say?
Ooh.
Hashtag educate and entertain. Very interesting. Yes, very interesting. Now, counselor, I said we were doing 2 because you were 2-0 last night. Vikings, never a sweat for you, sir. But you're a very busy man. You're in demand here at CBS. So right here, right now, I want our first best bet of the day. Please, sir.
Let's do it. Listen, we bounced back yesterday. We had a pretty bad Sunday outside of the first touchdown score, which, of course, I hit yet again. Went 2-0 yesterday, though, so nice bounce back. I'm sticking with football. I'm going New Mexico State plus 2.5, minus 108. This is one of those Diego Pavia plays. I was on him last week as well. If you recall, I had that first half bet, which hit very easily. Long story short here, New Mexico State is at Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, in their defense, they're coming off a bye, which is very good for them because they're trotting out one of 2 quarterbacks. It's either going to be Jack Turner or more likely Hank Backmeyer. And honestly, Hank Backmeyer is probably a little bit more dangerous against this New Mexico State defense. But with all that said, he's not a great quarterback. And I'm really going with how hot New Mexico State has been. They've been on 3 Tuesday night football nights in a row, and they've won all 3. They're just in really good shape. The defense is okay, but it's the offense, the dual threat of Diego Pavia. That's what I'm looking for here. Even though I do think Louisiana Tech is going to be able to score, I think the over is maybe in play here. I trust the dual threat of Diego Pavia much more than I trust Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech's been very underwhelming. Give me New Mexico State plus the points, plus 2.5 at Louisiana Tech.
Part of the 50 straight days of football between college and NFL until November 22nd. There's a football game every single night. By the way, Ray says, hey, thank you, Sia, for getting me paid. Vikings plus 7. Christian McCaffrey under 16.5. Let's go, counselor. Now, we've got a big game tonight. Sniper, is there anything better than a game 7 anywhere, but especially in Philadelphia? The Diamondbacks, backs against the wall yesterday, come out swinging. And they force a game 7. So here are the numbers. Phillies, once again, minus 175. Yesterday it was around minus 185. Total at 8.5. Sniper, this is on you first. Are we fading or are we following the Phillies to match the Rangers and meet them in the World Series?
I'm following the Phillies. I guess I'm in go down with the ship mode in this one. I had the Phillies in 5, so I'm not going to abandon them now. I had several plays on the Phillies yesterday, and they all failed. So I actually have this gut deep down inside feeling like the Diamondbacks are going to win, but I cannot abandon the Phillies at this point. They're the better team. They've been the better team in 5 of the 6 games so far, excluding last night when the Diamondbacks dominated that game. Ranger Suarez, I believe, is going to throw very well, so I'm on the Phillies.
Yeah, he pitched well the last time he threw in this particular series. And Zack Attack, as I come to you, the nerves could be fried tonight in Philadelphia because they thought when they went up 2-0, this one is going to be over by now. Fading or following the Phillies?
I'm going to follow the Phillies here, minus 175. Definitely not the price I want to pay for a Game 7, but I do think, as Sniper just mentioned, Cinderella story is over for the D-backs. Phenomenal run to get back in this series down 2-0. But I just don't think the D-backs pitching staff as a whole is going to hold up in this game, especially the bullpen that has not allowed a run in 3 of the past 4 games. So I'll follow the Phillies here, minus 175.
All right, we're going to go Phillies for Sniper, Phillies for Zack Attack. Mikey B, I'm coming to you. Who do you like today?
Yeah, I'll also follow the Phillies. I just can't pick against the Phillies at home. They were 6-0 prior to that loss yesterday. Going to be a kitchen sink game for both teams. Zach Gallen, Zach Wheeler should both be available out of the bullpen. But I got to take the home team in a Game 7 here.
Now, so that's home team 3 times, Counselor. And in the chat, Skunky, where's my career come to, says Fat and Suarez put on clinics their last showing. Maybe the under with so much nerves going on today is the play, Counselor.
I actually think it is. I mean, while I definitely lean to the Phillies, the first 5 under 4.5 makes a lot of sense to me. Now, don't get me wrong. Either of these pitchers could get pulled. It's a Game 7. Like when you look at Fat's outs recorded, just for the record, it's 11.5, which is telling you, and by the way, it's juiced to the under, which is telling you the moment he gets in trouble, they're going to pull him and put somebody else in. I think he's going to be fine. I think Ranger Suarez is going to be pretty good. I actually like the under here of 4.5 at minus 120. But my lean certainly is to the Phillies. But listen, this is a heavy price. Everybody knows this game is at Philadelphia, and the momentum, to the extent any momentum is generated by Philadelphia, they could potentially run away with it. You're paying a really hefty price. So I think you have to get creative here a little bit, maybe minus a half a run first half. But for me, I'm looking at the under 4.5.
Yeah, so the under for the Counselor. The other 3 we're going Phillies. I like what Sniper said. Let's go down with the ship because at this point, if you play the Diamondbacks, I feel like you're hoping. You're hoping, and I don't like to bet on hope. Now, as all of you know, if you've been watching the show the last week or two, Buckets has gone into business for himself, and there's literally nothing that I can do about it now because the bosses somehow are on board. So, Buckets, after we talked baseball, you get your own section of the show because guess what's back today? The Champions League on Paramount Plus. What do we like to call that, Buckets? Synergy. You didn't even know what I was going to say. That's embarrassing. That is absolutely – I don't even know what you just said right there. It wasn't synergy. So, anytime goal scorers today, we got some big-time stars on the pitch. You see all the names. You see all the numbers. So, Buckets, where are we going today for an anytime goal scorer? So many good games.
So many good games, Coach. And the first thing I want to do is shout out Jake the Snake for probably picking the most difficult to pronounce goal scorers possible in some of these matches. We have Leroy Sané, Luke de Jong, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia, Karim Aktürkoğlu, and Scott McTominay. So, first of all, proud of myself for getting through that, but let's find the best value we can here. These are a lot of good options, and any of these guys truly can score at any given time. Scott McTominay on fire for Man United. Mauro Icardi most likely out for Galatasaray, which means Aktürkoğlu needs to step up in that 9 spot. I'm not going to try to say that K name again. He's good, though. He's for Napoli. Osman probably out of this game. Keep an eye out on him. But for my absolute favorite play here, I'm going with the Dutch striker for PSV Eindhoven, Luke de Jong. Plus 188 is just priced too well for a team that is averaging 3+ goals a game domestically. I know they're struggling in Champions League, but this is a time against a weak defensive RC Lens side that you have to turn things around. PSV need 2 or possibly 3 or 4 goals in this matchup. And if you're going to see this Dutch side score that many goals, you are not going to go without a Luke de Jong goal here, Coach.
And apparently we're not going to go one day without a bunch of people in the chat going, Buckets 2024. Stop encouraging the man. Stop it. Now, as you guys know, we like to cover every single sport here at CBS, especially here on the Early Edge. Download that CBS Sports app, and you got CBS Sports HQ, where every single person you see on your screen is there throughout the week. But if you're new to our brand, here's a little tease.
We need the sports news anywhere.
We've got breaking news to bring you.
Then get your sports anytime you want them. Big trade news overnight to discuss.
Because we know you need sports all the time.
A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
A legend adds to their legacy.
We're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
CBS Sports HQ, anywhere, anytime, all the time.
And if you watch my segment against pick six and Will Brinson. I'm crushing him this week. I think I'm 3-1 so far. It happens. Now, as many of you know, the NBA starts their season tonight. It's a doubleheader. Lakers at the Nuggets, the defending champions on the court, then the Suns at the Warriors. So many new faces, so many new teams. I'm excited, and I know the crew is excited. So right here, right now, we're going to pick 3 different future picks. We're going to start with Rookie of the Year. And if you haven't seen this kid and some of his early season highlights, he's another human being. I don't even know if he is a human being, Mikey B. And I'm starting with you. NBA Rookie of the Year, Wemby. And I just watched Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett on their show. And they said right now today that Wemby is a top 5 talent in the entire NBA. NBA Rookie of the Year. Does anybody else have a shot?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the only way Wembanyama doesn't win it is if he were to get hurt. I don't think he's going to play anywhere close to 75 games with that body type and the Spurs not having anything to play for. But if he plays at least 60 games, the amount of highlight reel plays he's going to churn out, he's going to have crazy block numbers. There's a lot of juice here for picking someone to win an award like that, but you have to pick Wembanyama in my eyes.
Sometimes the juice is worth the squeeze. You know what I'm saying, Zach? Your thoughts?
Yeah, speaking of KD or Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, I ran into Matt Barnes at the airport the other day, so they do have a great show. I know with this race, it is usually a bettor's favorite dream because the favorite's usually going to win. Victor Wembanyama at minus 145, likely going to do it, but I agree with Barner here. That frame, that body, a teenager still, he may not make it through the season. So I wanted to look for a value play. I look at Brandon Miller, 30-1. That is just too good a value to pass up. Going into the college basketball season last year, through the first couple of months, he was expected to be the number 1 pick. We knew the off-the-court issues, but at times when you watched him play, he would just take over on the court for Alabama, led them back to a lot of big wins, and he has that ability to fill up the stat sheet, can shoot the three, can get to the paint, can do it all. So he's going to be one that those categories are going to be filled up, and I think Brandon Miller at 30-1 is phenomenal value.
Every single Tuesday night when Alabama played, you heard the announcer say NBA ready for Brandon Miller. Love that value play. Counselor, what are your thoughts on the NBA Rookie of the Year?
Yeah, I think Brandon Miller's really interesting. I think Zach brings up a really good point, and Mikey B does too. When you look at body types, it's not just Victor Wembanyama, but it's Chet Holmgren too. Like, listen, he had to sit out a year, and he has a kind of a similar frame where you could see another foot issue, which of course I hope is not the case. I think Victor and Chet certainly are in the lead here. I think, I would probably play this 2 ways. I would probably take the minus 145 and then take a 30-1 shot on Brandon Miller. Let's not forget, like, the Hornets are just one of those franchises. Like, they're kind of down in the doldrums. The media doesn't pay attention to them. All the more reason for Brandon Miller to get some hype and to use Zach's words, fill up the stat sheet. I don't know who else is going to do it. This is a guy who just he could end up being a stat monster. And if Victor Wembanyama misses like 20 games or 25 games for whatever reason, then it's somebody else's award most likely. So I like playing them both.
I think that's a really smart play. That's exactly what I was going to say, because that's really kind of the only way that you can do it. Play one, then back that up with a little value play there. I love that play, especially at 30-1. Crazy. By the way, Chet is from Gonzaga, same body type as Wemby. Same body type, except Wemby's 3 inches taller. It's crazy. Now, let's go to the MVP, because Jokic has a chance to win 3 in 4 years. They're also the defending champions. Everything is leaning this way. So look at all the names. Luka's right there. Giannis. How about 3 years, $186 million yesterday? My goodness. Mikey B, let's come back to you. For the MVP, who do you like?
Yeah, I think the only reason why Jokic lost last year was because of a bit of voter fatigue, because he had won the previous 2 years. He was 0.2 assists away from averaging a triple-double as a center. Embiid was lobbying hard for the award. I'm sure that played a role in it. Then we saw in the playoffs how much better of a player Jokic is than Embiid. I think Jokic is going to play plenty of games, and I'm going with him to win the MVP again.
It wasn't close. It wasn't close. Zach Attack, talk to me.
Yeah, I don't think Jokic is going to win it again. It's been done and dealt with. Even if he has that triple-double average, I don't think he's going to win it. I'm going to go with Jason Tatum, 7-1 at BetMGM. Still just 25 years old, and he has made improvements in every major category every single season in the NBA, culminating with career highs last season, 30 points per game, 9 rebounds, 4.5 assists. And I really think he's going to take it to another level. I think after the first month and a half, he will be the leader. He'll be over Jokic for the MVP race, and I won't be surprised if he averages 32, 33 points per game.
Boy, won't that be a fun year to watch? Fun season to watch. Counselor, what do you think?
Yeah, part of me wants to think that like Steph Curry, they'll give him one last shot at this thing, as he's sort of in the twilight of his great career. I mean, I certainly think he's going to play a few more years, but Steph Curry is a consideration for me here. But I think I got to travel up the board a little bit, and I do like the Jason Tatum call. I think I'm going to go with Jokic. It was kind of taken from him last year, and we know he can pile up the stats. I wanted to go Doncic, but he also plays with Kyrie Irving. At least we think he's going to this entire season. So Jokic is the play for me.
All right, very good. And the final one today, who's going to win it all? The Denver Nuggets last year showed the world, but now we got new big names, Dames in Milwaukee. You got Celtics making big-time trades as well. They look completely different. But the Celtics are the favorite, tied with the Bucks, both teams in the East. Then you go out west, it's boom, Suns, Lakers, Warriors, Clippers. That's where all the power is. So, Counselor, I'm going to come right back to you first. Sia, who do you have winning the NBA Finals this year?
It's so funny to not see the Heat on this list. I mean, they always outperform expectations. I'm just surprised that like the Cavs, for example, are ahead of them. I understand why, and I understand the Heat lost on the Dame sweepstakes, which is why I'm going with the Bucks at plus 400. It's probably just too much. The Bucks have so much to offer. I don't think like when you look at the tandem that the Celtics have and you look at the tandem that the Bucks have and the coaching and what they have around them, to me, it's the Bucks that win the East. I think the Sixers are going to start to fade a little bit. They've got some issues, obviously. So I'm going to take the Bucks to win the East and win the whole thing. I think they're built correctly.
All right, Bucks to win the East. Now they got their superstar locked in at $60+ million a year. They're good to go. So, Zach Attack, let me come to you. Do you also like the Bucks to win it all this year?
Yeah, I absolutely do. I agree with Sia here, plus 400 on the Milwaukee Bucks. Different sport, but what they did kind of reminds me of what the Rams did a few years ago. Needed that one more big piece when they went for Matthew Stafford, and it was a clear-cut decision that gave them the advantage, won the Super Bowl that year. And I think when you add Damian Lillard, it just gives you that big boost. I love Drew Holiday. I love his game, but we all saw him get cooked by that 8th seed Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler in the playoffs in round one. You just can't have that. And Damian Lillard, maybe as hungry as a veteran superstar there has been through this NBA free agency period. So with him there, I definitely think it's going to catapult the Bucks to the finals.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe Miami, Mikey B, is having a little FOMO, not getting Damian Lillard like many people thought that they were. So when you look at this list, who do you like?
I like the Celtics. The big fallout from that Lillard trade, like Zach mentioned, was Drew Holiday landing on the Celtics. With him and Derek White, they have two very good perimeter defensive guards who I think could give Lillard trouble. I think the East is much more top-heavy, so it would be easier for the team to predict coming out of that conference than the West. So I'm going to take the Celtics. And if you do want a long shot, Lakers plus 1,300. They've got a lot of good depth this year. So if you want one on longer down the list, Lakers.
Jeff says the Celtics is the only correct answer in the chat. By the way, many of you in the chat are complaining about the in-season tournament. Well, at BetMGM, you can bet on the in-season tournament. You can bet on so many different NBA wagers, but you got to be a customer. So new BetMGM customers can sign up today and get $200 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10 and you'll receive $200 instantly in bonus bets regardless of your wager's outcome with bonus code EDGE200. That is bonus code EDGE200. All right. Now, as many of you know, we have so many different sports that we like to focus on today. It's soccer, baseball, but we also have college football on the weekend. Never too early to look ahead. Oh, Air Force has been on fire now into the top 25. All right, we've already got Sia Nejad. He's got to go. He's got other shows he has to attend to. So, Buckets, I'm coming to you to start our board because I got 4 great boards still to come. And when I look at all the different games that are on the map today, literally all over Europe, all over the world, I don't know where to start. Can you help me, please?
Coach, I can absolutely help you, and we are going to start with the Champions League, of course, the best of the best of the best, plus Union Berlin, boom, roasted, playing in this competition, Coach. And we have some very tricky results coming up. I'm focusing in on Group B. This is a group that everybody thought Arsenal would top, PSG would finish second, and RC Lens would finish dead last. Well, currently 2 match days in, RC Lens is first, PSV is last and Arsenal is second. So we're a bit of a mess right now, but I do believe we see some things kind of figure themselves out. I'm looking at that match between the League team RC Lens hosting Dutch Eredivisie club PSV Eindhoven. And I'm keeping this one pretty simple because I do disagree with MGM on this one. I think PSV should not be the underdog. I'm aware that they have struggled in this competition, but PSV is still the absolute giants of the Dutch Eredivisie. They've outscored their opponents domestically 30-3 over their first 9 matches. And RC Lens, even though they beat Arsenal, even though they've shown glimpses of brilliance, this is not a good club that I want to back with my money here. I'm going PSV Eindhoven, draw no bet to give me that safety net I love so much at plus 105 over on MGM. Then I know we have a ton of UCL action, but we can't ignore value found in different leagues here. So I'm jumping to the English Championship. And remember, Championship is different than Champions League. So make sure you're looking under the right tabs there on your sportsbook. I'm looking at that match between Norwich and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, doesn't matter. We're betting on them to win here. I'm taking Middlesbrough on draw no bet again here at minus 115. This is a bet I love so much because that draw no bet just gives you that safety net in case this does end 0-0, 1-1, 2-2. But that's not what I see happening in this match. Norwich has looked terrible since falling and getting relegated in this league, and they are struggling to produce any kind of results before the international break. Meanwhile, Middlesbrough has won 5 matches straight, beating teams like Sunderland, Birmingham, Cardiff City, Watford, and Southampton. Middlesbrough is absolutely on fire, and I believe this is a poker term, but when you got a hot hand, you got to play it. Take Middlesbrough on the draw no bet, and I will see you again, Coach, for my personal branding at the pay window party.
See, you already messed up your own branding.
I think I did too. I said it different.
We know you did. Sorry, Sniper. Sorry. You just said my own personal branding. It's party at the pay window, not window at the party, or whatever you just said.
In a way, isn't that his brand, though, messing things up?
True enough, Sniper.
I hate to look like I'm getting his back, but, I
kind of feels that way. It kind of feels that way. There you go. Reed gets your own personal brand better than you get your own personal brand. Hashtag embarrassing. By the way, did you guys see my new sweatshirt today? All right. Now, buckets. Zack Attack, I apologize. You have to deal with such immaturity on the show on a Tuesday. However, when we have an NBA opening night and there are 4 of the biggest teams in the West playing, I know I can count on you, who lives out here in the West with me, to have one big fire pick. Now, interesting line movement this morning as well. You're up.
Yeah, we did see this line move, Coach, from +1 on the Sun size to +2.5, and that has to do with Bradley Beal being out tonight for the Phoenix Suns. But I'm going to stay on the Phoenix Suns side. I know I put +1 last night on the website, but I look at with Bradley Beal out, that may help the Phoenix Suns. We see so many times that team that has that third big scorer struggle early in the season. So those extra 12 to 15 shots that Beal may be taking tonight are gone now. So those are going to go to the guys I want to have the basketball, Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Those are the very high field goal percentage shooters there. And then you look at the Phoenix Suns, one of their weak points last year was that bench. They completely overhauled it. I think that's going to be a strength tonight. Grayson Allen was very underrated for the Milwaukee Bucks last year. Getting rid of DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul, definitely a plus as well. They needed that chemistry overhaul. I think the Suns, you know that the postseason has been their struggle, but in the regular season, they've been one of the best teams in the NBA year over year. You go back to last year against this Golden State Warriors team, annihilated them in the first 3 matchups of the year. 2 of them were early in the season, all 3 wins by more than double digits. So I'm going to ride with the Suns here. Even on this line move, minus Bradley Beal does not bother me. Give me the Suns +2.5.
Very interesting the other day, Zach. Did you notice at the Arizona Diamondbacks game, it was Kevin Durant and it was Devin Booker together in the front row, but there was no Bradley Beal? Where's that team bonding experience that we need, right? All right, Suns +2.5. Let's lock that in. Now, Mikey B, as I come over to you, Zack Attack is focused on one game. You are clearly focused on the other. What do you got?
Yeah, we got to spread the wealth here and do both games. So first, I'm going to do a player prop. We're going to go D'Angelo Russell of the Lakers under 5.5 assists. There's quite a bit of juice here at -145. I don't care. The Lakers are a deep team. They added Gabe Vincent, which is going to help with their perimeter shooting. Russell is technically their point guard, but with LeBron James on the floor, he doesn't have a traditional point guard role. Austin Reeves is also a good passer. The Lakers want Russell to shoot three-pointers. He shot just under 40% from behind the arc last season. Now, when these teams played in the Western Conference Finals, Russell had 5 or fewer assists in all 4 games. With James and Reeves healthy in the playoffs, he had 5 or fewer assists in 11 of their 16 games. So we're going to take the under, and then we're going to go to the game itself. We're going to take Lakers plus 5.5 for the spread. They put up the best fight of any team in the playoffs against the Nuggets. They got swept, but only 3 of those games they lost by 6 or fewer points. Love the addition of Vincent. I like Reeves as a starter from the outset. LeBron James and Anthony Davis are healthy. I think we could see a bit of an adjustment period here for the Nuggets. They lost 2 key bench guys, Bruce Brown and Jeff Green, in the offseason. They didn't really replace them with anybody noteworthy. So I think the Lakers cover here. I would not be surprised if they won outright. And I do want to say one thing, Coach. I've had a lot of questions about the Mikey B special. For those who remember last year, Jokic triple-double at home with plus odds. I wouldn't probably play it the first game of the season. Might be a little bit of an adjustment, ease him in here. But that's something that we'll definitely be talking about plenty as the season wears along, Coach.
The Mikey B special. I had almost forgotten about the Mikey B special.
Now that's branding.
What's
branding. That's branding.
That is branding.
Okay,
that's on brand. That is correctly. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it. All right. Thank you, Mikey B. Appreciate it very much. Now, a little added bonus for you, because I know you all complain all the time. I don't know if you're doing it today because I'm a little busy, but today's a big day in hockey, excuse me. And right now I'm staring at 3 graded A plays. Toronto, Washington, under 6.5. Anaheim, Columbus, under 6.5. The over 6.5 in Carolina and Tampa Bay. That's just 3 graded A plays of SportsLine. But if you're a SportsLine member, you already knew that, correct? But if you're not and you want hockey plays, we got plenty for you. I'm going to do you a solid right here, right now. I'm going to give you 60% off a quarterly plan. That's 3 months. Use the promo code COACH. QR code's right there, sportsline.com/join. And part of the reason we don't do some sports here, we just don't have the experts to do it. So we're not going to throw out somebody like, well, I guess we've done that elsewhere. However, we want you to have our real experts. And at SportsLine, there are several games that have picks inside of them as well. So we've got all the sports. You just got to do a little effort to find them. All right. Now, with all that being said, one of our best the last 6 months, steady as a rock. And he's had an unbelievable baseball season. Sniper, what do we got today?
Well, yeah, Coach, I could talk about the NHL if they want, but I think all I could do is name the teams. I do think I could name every team, maybe. If you want me to try to do that, guys, no. So here's the deal on the Diamondbacks Phillies series. Yesterday, the Diamondbacks Phillies game, that was probably my worst game of the entire playoffs. I got almost everything wrong. I am going back to the well today. I don't see the Phillies offense laying an egg for the second straight day. I know Merrill Kelly had really good stuff, and the Diamondbacks bullpen was really good, and they do have talented arms back there, so I don't want to take anything away from the Diamondbacks, but I feel like that was an outlier game for the Phillies offense, and that they're going to bounce back here in Game 7. So I'm going over the team total of 4.5. Good odds there, close to even money. So I think we're probably going to see a big game from somebody like Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, and Nick Castellanos have been kind of lying in the weeds there. Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott haven't hit at all. And Rob Thompson will not change his lineup for whatever reason, but maybe it's possible they break out. We see a little evening out. I do like the way JT Realmuto has swung the bat of late. Somebody's going to break out. I will probably have some player props later today. I'm going to go look at that. None of the lines were posted last night, and I went to bed, and I did HQ this morning. You guys don't care about that. But for now, my only play is Phillies over 4.5 runs. I really do think they get there. I think it's going to be Vibe Central, Party Central in Citizens Bank Park tonight. Just delayed 24 hours because they laid an egg last night.
Coach, you're muted.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no.
My goodness.
It looked like fire, though. You were bringing it.
It was just unmuted by buckets. Yes, Bradley.
Probably.
5
That's
walks.
one of the-
Please,
that-
Sniper, please help me.
Yeah.
Help me.
That's one of the main player props I'm going to look at is the Bryce Harper walks, because if you looked at the way Merrill Kelly worked Schwarber and Harper in the first inning last night, it seemed like their game plan was do not let these guys beat us with a home run. And then they settled in after that. But I could totally see, especially if the Phillies don't change the lineup and Bohm and Stott are behind Bryce Harper, I could totally see the Diamondbacks game plan being do not let Bryce Harper beat us. We're just going to put him on. So that's one of the main ones that I'm looking at. Yes, I like that.
And yesterday, it got up throughout the day to like minus 170 at one point. It like started minus 120, and then it just kept moving.
And none of those pitches in the first inning were even close. They wanted no piece of him.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. Now, all of you in the chat that are taking shots at me, just keep it coming right now. Keep it coming. Because a blind squirrel finds a nut once in a while, and that blind squirrel just did that right there. Oh, the rare time I get to tune in and coaches. Oh, the jeweler. Everybody say hello to the jeweler, the man who started this show 3 years ago. Oh, it's so great to see him. Oh, coach is pulling his stuff. Is this stuff? Good to see you, jeweler. Love that guy. All right, grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here's the recap courtesy of my man, the Snake, on the ones and the twos. The Counselor, he's on New Mexico State tonight, plus 2.5. That's college football, minus 108. Then Mikey B, NBA. Oh, it feels so good that it's starting tonight. Lakers, plus 5.5. D'Angelo Russell, let's go under 5.5 assists, minus 145. And Mikey B, sometimes the juice
is worth the squeeze.
You're damn right. He said, I don't even care about it in this particular play. Then Zack Attack, one big play tonight. Suns, plus 2.5 to take out the Warriors in game number 1. Then Sniper, game 7. Philadelphia. The Phillies will break out. Team total over 4.5. And then Buckets, 2 plays today. PSV, draw no bet. That's in Champions League. And then Middlesbrough, draw no bet. That's English Championship. So make sure you hit that right tab. I swear to you, Buckets, if you text me even one time about that today, you will not be on the rest of this week. Even one. Maybe 2. All right. Now, with all that being said, there's only one thing left to do. Thank you all for taking the time, spending it with us, getting your day started off right. And I believe you know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my I just have party in the pay window in my head. For my entire crew, come on! Zack Attack, Mikey B, the Sniper, Buckets, the Counselor, they're all here every single day. We grind for you so we can win with you. I am the coach. We'll see you later today at 4 p.m. Eastern time for our NFL Week 8 mega preview with the Maestro and the Stoic one, RJ White. We never stop right here at the Early Edge. Good luck.